Alright, now we're going to look at evaluating functions. So the function that's given to you here is the g of x equal x squared plus 2x plus 3. And part A is asking you just to evaluate it at -1. And again, this is something that you've done before. It's just as simple as taking this value and substituting it in. So therefore we would have -1 squared plus 2 times -1 plus 3. Of course, you can take as many steps now as you need to simplify it. Of course, this would be +1, then -2 plus 3. So 1 minus 2 would give us -1. -1 plus 3 would then give me +2. Okay, now B part is still doing the same process, but instead of having just a number to plug in, you have an expression to plug in. We've got x plus 5. Okay, so evaluating the function for x plus 5, you would have x plus 5 squared, because like you've got to replace this x with x plus 5, so therefore you'd have to square it. Now you do 2 times the x plus 5, and then plus 3. Okay, now simplifying this, you would need to FOIL this out, so if you need to go over to the side and write it down twice, you can. But if you write this twice, FOIL it out, then you're going to have x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25. Then you would need to use your distributive property here with the 2, so you'd have plus 2x plus 10. Bring down the plus 3. And now just a matter of combining like terms. So 5x plus 5x is 10x plus 2, so that'll give us 12x. And then 25 plus 10, of course, is 35, plus 3 is going to give me 38. So, like in this situation, when you evaluate it, you're not coming out with just a number. But here, we plugged in a number, we get a number. Here we plug in an expression, so therefore that's what we'll get is an expression. It'll still be in terms of x. Okay, C part, again, is just plugging in an expression. This time we have to evaluate it for -x. So I would have -x squared plus 2 times -x plus 3. Of course, this is just -1, so if you square -1, then that's going to give you +1. So that's going to end up being a +x squared minus 2x plus 3. So again, you're substituting in an expression that contains a variable, therefore that's what you're going to get out. Okay, now, still doing the same thing as far as evaluating, but instead of you being given the actual function, you're given the graph of a function. So you'll want to take a second and sketch this graph off in your notes. Now, the points that I have marked, those are the ones that you'll want to make sure that you do have those points exact. The rest of it you can just freehand. Now, this is 1. I mean, I didn't mark it, but these tick marks that I have are by 1. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4. Let me just mark a couple of them. And same thing here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 2, this would be 4. Same thing going up and then down. Okay. So you're asked to find the function's value. Of course, this is your function, so you're asked to find this function's value at 3. So this is just something you've got to remember about function notation. Of course, what you have in here is your x value, and what it's going to be equal to is always going to be the y value, because remember, you're supposed to be able to take it, once you're done evaluating it, and write an ordered pair. So this is just simply, this is the x, so therefore what is the y? So if you want f of 3, first of all you would need to go on your x-axis to 3. Now from there you'll either have to move up or down depending on which way your graph is. In this case you'd have to come down in order to get to your graph, which puts you at this point, and the y value of this point then would be at -1. So that's all there is to that. Okay, So another one, this time I want to know f of -1. So again, on my x-axis, I go to -1. This time I'd have to shift up to my graph. Of course, I don't have that point marked, but I mean, that point is there on the graph. I just didn't have it marked. Go over, your y value is +1. Okay, f of -3. So again, on your x-axis, you go to -3. Now in this case, I don't have to shift up or down because coming over to x equal -3, I'm actually directly on my graph at that point. The y value of that point would be 0.